You know, if you still believe in Bitcoin, I really can't blame you, because I believed in Bitcoin too. For about 10 seconds in 2010, I believed in Bitcoin, and it's because they have such a wonderful story. And we all want to believe in wonderful stories. The story of Bitcoin is the future is a wonderful place. It's full of freedom. And in this bright future, you, my friend, have a key role to play. If only you believe in Bitcoin hard enough, and you buy enough Bitcoin, and more importantly, you hold on to those Bitcoins, come rain, come shine, you will become the billionaire of the future, because your money will grow and grow without you having to lift a finger. It's actually free money from believing in Bitcoin. Yeah, it's a wonderful story. Like, I wish it was true. Like, I want to be a billionaire in the future. I want to be the one calling the shots. But, you know, I realized later that it's just a fairy tale. It's beautiful because it is a fairy tale. Like Rapunzel, like Snow White, like Beauty and the Beast. And every fairy tale hides a dark side. And in the case of Bitcoin, this is no different. Bitcoin is a fairy tale with a dark side. They promise you a decentralized currency. They promise you an end to the financial system. But in reality, what it is more of a decentralized Ponzi scheme. And I want to tell you why you need to exit as quickly as you can for your own safety and your own well-being and the future of your bank account. All right, so in the past, if you had some money and you wanted to save it, you really only had one option. You could put it in the bank. And I mean, okay, if we went back long enough, you maybe could have taken like a little pouch and like gold nuggets and close it and then give it to your goblin servant to keep it in the dungeon away from like the dragons. But I mean, in modern world, if you have money to save, you put it in the bank. And the bank, by the bank, what I mean is like a brick and mortar building with walls and people working in it and a vault with actual bars and an alarm system connected to the police station. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A place that keeps your money safe for you and has a bunch of inbuilt security systems. So, if you were a bad actor and you wanted to steal someone else's life savings, you only really had two options. Option A is if you had political power, then you could basically raise their taxes or devalue the currency. And that way you could like grab a good portion of everybody's life savings. But most people didn't have that kind of power. So if you're facing like a garden variety scammer, his only true option was to somehow hack into your account, into your bank account. And that's not an easy task because banks are very smart and they have a bunch of security features to keep your money safe. So maybe they had like very elite hacking skills. They could hack into your bank account, like route all of your money to some sort of bank account offshore. But more likely than not, they were going to end behind bars because this is not easy to do and not easy to pull off. And you're probably going to end up, yeah, it's not going to end pretty for you if you want to hack into a bank. So yeah. But then in 2008, a Japanese man, a shady figure from Japan, or so he said, entered the chat. And he said he was working on this new technology that would allow us to have a decentralized currency. And now you could have your own money and eat it too. You know, nobody would have access to your funds if you didn't want to. And it was impossible to devalue the currency because it was limited, like gold. So there was no printing money magically and devaluing and stealing everybody's worth, like money's worth. So naturally, a group of people that were anti-establishment were very much seduced by this idea. So the first people to jump into the Bitcoin ship were anti-establishment types, preppers, people who were preparing for the worst case scenario, anti-establishment, anarchists, people who had a bone to pick with the government or like authorities, etc. Basically, people who were very afraid that the government was going to steal their money and they wanted to keep it somewhere safe, away from the prying eyes of, the authorities. But then, in time, other people started to heed the siren call of Bitcoin, and this group was much, much, much shadier. We got people who were doing illegal dealings of all kinds and needed somewhere to store their money, their dirty money that they couldn't launder. In the past, they would find other types of solutions, like they would keep like wads of cash in like a big bag in a storage facility somewhere. Or if they lived in Colombia, maybe they would have hiding spots in the jungle where they would put the money and like risk the whole money getting ruined. But now there was Bitcoin, you see, and that was definitely an improvement on the previous system. And now you had, these anti-establishment types and the shady types together in the same pond, swimming together like little fishes, mingling with their Bitcoin. But then other groups started to show up. First came a group of like people who want to make a quick buck, like fast cash. And here we have like all of the internet kind of scammers, people doing people rug pulling their audience, like weird internet celebrities and influencers taking advantage of all kinds of dirty schemes, like NFTs and like all of these things, like meme coins and all of these things. And they too wanted a piece of the pie, and they too had very long fangs and were willing to attack and get, as many Bitcoins as they want. They were like junkies of Bitcoin. Now they were also swimming in the pond. And then last but not least, we have like, like poor old ladies, like poor old grandmas whose, grandchildren advised her to like get all the money her late husband left her in a bank account and put it into crypto, because it was better for her future and the future of her children. So you have all of these people swimming together, like very confused people who are not very tech savvy, with like anarchists, drug dealers, like the whole 9 yards, like everybody swimming together. That's not a very good soup to be a part of. But what happens is, how you had your money in the bank account and it was almost impossible to hack? Like the government could devalue your money, that's for sure. But like random Joe, yeah, good luck with trying to get into my funds. Here with Bitcoin, they promised that if you took all of your funds and put them into Bitcoin, your money was going to be so safe from the government. Oh yeah, so safe. However, it was much easier to hack for random individuals, random bad actors that were floating around and circling around you in this dirty pond that you're swimming in now that you're holding cryptocurrency, right? Because you think that your hardware wallet is safe. Oh, my funds are safe. They're super duper safe. Like the owner of this hardware wallet company told me so. My wallet is the safest wallet that ever saved. But you know what? It's an illusion. It's just an illusion. Think about this. These wallets are made in China, in a factory in China, with hundreds of workers in the factory. And then they're probably packaged in a different factory in China. And then they have to go and travel all the way from China to your front door in Kansas or wherever it is that you are. And how many hands does your wallet pass from, like, on the way to your apartment? There's the factory workers in China, the other factory workers also in China. There's the people with the container who decided to move all of these wallets across the ocean. Then there's the guy at customs. Then there's the DHL guy that, sorts them into trucks. Then there's the driver of the truck that gets it to your house. Like, how many hands do you think get a hold of your wallet? And someone could tamper with the wallet along the way because there's no chain of custody. You're going to put a bunch of money into these wallets. Some people have a fortune in Bitcoin. You're going to put a fortune into these wallets, and nobody can assure you that they were not tampered with from the moment they were built into the moment they reached your hands. Somebody along the way could have, just to give you one example of something that could be done, they could pre-program the 12 words. You plug in your wallet. You think that you're getting fresh, randomly selected words, and you take your little pen and you write them down, and you don't know that maybe those words were pre-programmed by someone. And they're not random at all. Someone has them, and they can enter and see and check your wallet anytime. And you're there with your wallet, and you think everything is safe, super duper safe. And then you're putting in all of your money into this wallet. And then one day, maybe months later, your money is gone. You wake up one morning and somebody drained your wallet, and you're scratching your head like, how is this possible? Did I make a mistake? I am sure, super duper sure, that nobody saw my words, because my words never left my apartment and they were in my safe. And nobody came near my wallet or near my computer because nobody comes into my house. And how is this happening to me? Well, because you don't know what happened to your wallet before it got into your hands. That's why. And even the owners of the hardware wallets could be in on it. And you think this is impossible. This is just, speculation, like crazy speculation from someone who's way too afraid of risk. But listen, it wouldn't be the first time, okay? Because there have been things like this in the internet's past, like with digital banking systems. Look up Chris Malik and the e-passport scam. You're gonna learn something today. Look up Chris Malik and e-passport. E-passport was a digital banking system. Okay? They had a digital bank account with a card that you received at home, and you kept your money in that bank, and it was like a regular bank, but it was digital. And many people use ePassport online because many companies paid affiliate marketers and other types of employees using ePassport back in the day. So a lot of people had it and kept their funds there. And Chris Malik, the owner, reassured everybody that their funds were super duper safe in ePassport. But one day, he came up with a new feature called the wallet. And he invited everybody, he was very persistent, he invited everybody to transfer the money in their accounts from the account to the wallet, which was safer and much better for you. And the wallet, turns out, was not backed by Visa. The bank account, the ePassport bank account was backed by Visa. But once you took your funds out of your bank account and you put them in the wallet, which was prepaid, it was no longer backed by Visa. And in fact, it was sitting in a bank account to Chris Malik's name. So one morning, people woke up, and everyone who put their money into the wallet woke up to a balance of exactly zero. Zero. They had $0 in their bank account overnight. Why? This is the best part. This is the best part. This is the part you don't see coming. You want to know why? Chris Malik took everybody's funds. Just think about this. Imagine this, like elderly couple. They've been saving all their lives, put their money into ePassport, and this man stole it all. Why? Because he wanted to fund a movie. Not kidding. The man had a dream. He wanted to shoot a movie, like a professional movie. So he took everybody's money to fund his movie. You know what happened to his movie? It flopped. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. It flopped. It was a box office flop, and everyone's money went down the drain. What's the moral of the story, kids? The moral of the story is don't trust. Don't trust random internet people with your money. You may feel like your wallet is super duper safe, and the owner of the company told you that it was super duper safe, but you don't know what kind of dreams he has in the back of his head. You don't know he has a movie that he wants to finance with your Bitcoin. He wants to finance a movie with your Bitcoin. Are you going to let him finance a movie with your money? I wouldn't. So now people have their money in Bitcoin, and they're surrounded by other people just like them. Everybody holding on to their Bitcoin. They're holding on because this someday is going to be worth a fortune. You can't spend them. You gotta hold on to your Bitcoin. Hold on to the Bitcoin because it's still early, okay? It's early. It's never late. Buy more Bitcoin. It's never late. Don't say anything wrong about Bitcoin, because if you say something wrong about Bitcoin and people start believing that this is wrong, my money is going to be worth less. We're going to see a dip. No. Don't you dare insult Bitcoin. So my advice here is don't trust the word of gurus online about Bitcoin or people who are invested in Bitcoin, because they are like a cult, and they're all in this little cult, and they're all very anxious, and they're all junkies of Bitcoin. They're trying to get as much Bitcoin as they can. They want to buy more Bitcoin because they think it's going to be worth millions of dollars. And so they're very desperate, and they're willing to do many, many things for more Bitcoin. You don't want to be part of that scene. So heed my advice. Exit Bitcoin. It's early. Be smart. One day, if you don't exit Bitcoin, what's going to happen is nobody's going to adopt Bitcoin universally. That's never going to happen. What's going to happen is eventually people are going to caught on to what I'm telling you, and the value of Bitcoin is going to start to plummet. And very soon, Bitcoin is going to be worth zero, less than zero. People are going to pay you to take their Bitcoin. Heed my words.